interview, we're doing question and perspective. And the question is, I quote, "How do I, or what should I do to actually become life?" Now, unquote. And the unquote becomes for the now. The process or the question, the context of the question that the being is asking from is within the interviews and material that we have walked thus far in Destiny, in where we have shown the difference between existing as the mind consciousness system of energy and your human physical body, and this physical existence as a manifested representation of equality and oneness as life and living. Now, a really awesome interview series that show the difference between the mind as energy and the physical as representation of life and equality and oneness is the Soul of Money interview series on EQOF, that one can assist and support oneself to invest in when and as one is able to, because within the series it is explicitly, practically walked in the difference between energy and life. And I suggest having a listen to that series. For the moment, in a nutshell though, in the research, the investigations, the explorations that we have done within Destiny over the last couple of years, and I mean it's been quite extensive, and all of the initial research that we have done has walked us within this point of where we can see the mind consciousness system's relationship to the human physical body, and how it is that consciousness, that the mind, that thoughts, that energy itself really in fact exists in its relationship to the human physical body. And for this direct relationship, one can have a read through the Heaven's Journey to Life blogs, because in those blogs one see the direct relationship between how energy can really in fact only exist within breaking down, consuming, literally feeding off of the human physical body, and that we have, as the mind, lived in our lives where instead of living in equality and oneness with our physical human bodies, we are existing as a mind, as consciousness, as energy for a short period of time, because energy is really literally feeding off of the very resources of your human physical body. It is a parasite, and it contributes to the processes, the experiences, the very physical reality that we're facing regarding pain, discomfort, ailments, illnesses, diseases, aging. I mean, our physical evidence is here throughout our lives in what we're doing as the mind, as energy, but we're not in fact seeing it because we're not yet equal and one even with our own physical bodies. We're not even equal and one with our own minds, our conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind, that we're not even in no way aware of what we're really in fact existing as human beings. So within Destiny, obviously, we have so many human beings that are deliberately spiteful and nasty in terms of the processes that we're walking in, showing human beings what it is that we have done and become in the mind's relationship to the physical body, and the world system of money's relationship to this physical existence. Now imagine we're giving a practical physical solution to this physical existence, you know, within what we're walking as the equal money system, an equal and one life for each human being. I mean, isn't that what we, all of humanity, are praying for, waiting for, wanting, needing, and desiring, in terms of just to live in peace, just for these wars, these violence, poverty, starving, the abuse, the slaughtering. I mean, this can go on almost infinitely, to stop and change and be transformed. And we're placing it right in front of all of humanity on a golden platter as the equal money system. But still, there's always some ways, means, and methods found in spite and nastiness, in deliberately shunning it, if you will. And even within our processes of walking you through the mind, its relationship to the physical, it's immediately shunned. Like, nope. And all these excuses and reasons and justifications about who we are as destiny emerge within the minds of human beings. Now, why is that? Why is it that within us walking in terms of mentally and physically showing what we're doing to ourselves internally and externally, and at the same time we're giving the solution? I mean, everything, the key to heaven on earth is given right here, but still it is insanely resisted within human beings. It's because your awareness of yourself is only existing in your conscious mind. I mean, we've walked in an interview where if you really for a moment self-honestly just observe yourself and how you participate in your day. I mean, yes, you do physical responsibilities here and there in terms of surviving in this world. But again, what is behind those physical movements? Survival, money, your relationship to money. Where does that relationship to money exist? It exists in your mind as energy. It's always fear, survival, concern, worry, energy, experience that's driving your very physical movement within yourself and your relationship to money. So then one can within this thus say that even our physical actions, our responsibilities, and our physical participation in our own physical bodies and this physical existence is not really, in fact, even being done in awareness, because we're having energy direct and move our physical bodies for us. And within that, if you really have a look in your participation in your mind, how little of your thoughts, of every single thought that you've had throughout your day, do you remember? Do you in fact know that you consciously brought up in your mind, that you decided to have every reaction within yourself, that you made an informed decision to have that reaction? Okay, I decide now to experience this, like speaking that order inside yourself, and then comes the serving of that particular reaction, where you said, okay, I'm going to now have this thought, made that order or decision, oh, and here comes the thought. Not at all. We are existing in an absolute automated existence in our mind, and within that, thus indicating, showing, and revealing that we're not even in control or directive principle of our mind, which means thus that we're in separation from it, to the extent where we're in this world system of money, where no individual human being is in control of what's happening in the world system of money, because it's become an entire entity that is moving with its own consciousness, and it's creating a massive ripple effect of consequence throughout this physical earth, because it's become so interconnected to everything and everyone to such an extent that if that world system gets shut down, we're all fucked. And so all the elite is trying to do within the world system of money is figure out its dynamics and its mathematics and its functionings and circulations, so that it can maintain a relative order within and on this earth. But it's out of their control, just like the mind is out of our control. And that is the one thing, and one of the most important things in terms of why it is that human beings don't want to hear in what we're walking in destiny, in that the mind, energy, your experience is not life. It is actually the evil that is destroying the physical body, this physical existence. That the physical body is the representation, the standing, the manifestation of life, and so also this physical existence itself. The reason within that is because of fear, from the perspective that we fucking know that we don't have control of our minds. Just as the elite know that they don't have control of the world system of money, but will they admit it? Will they share it? Will they speak about it? No, they won't. Because obviously it's going to cause a massive ripple effect within humanity as a whole if they realize that they do not have control of the money system, or have lost control of it from that perspective. And, you know, within that also pride, ego. I mean, we don't want to admit to ourselves or see or realize that we don't have control in our minds, that we've never really in fact lived, that we have always seen what's going on in our minds and our physical bodies and our lives on this earth, and what's going on in this physical existence. And from a certain perspective within each human being, it's been heart-wrenching, if you will, to see what goes on in this life on earth. And mostly within that is because of the years of guilt and sorrow and pain and feeling sorry and feeling bad for everything and everyone else and what's going on in this existence that we've accumulated, and from a certain perspective just feel powerless, hopeless, helpless. And within that as well, I mean, human beings will not want to hear or change or stand up for change within themselves or this existence as a whole, because the point of, you know, what's the use? What's the point? So it's like the dynamic of essentially either fear in terms of not wanting to admit one has lost control and want to hold on to one's pride and ego as illusion, or that one is in that absolute state of victimization, powerlessness, helplessness, uselessness. But the main point within this is, again, that is simply representing extreme possession. Because if you are in that experience of uselessness, that is then all that you will be. That's all that you will see. That's all that you will live. That's all that you'll experience. And the other polarity, if you are fear, you know, in your pride and ego, all that you will be, all that you will see, all that you will do is fear. And I mean attack and nastiness, and spitefulness, all such things. Origin is fear. I mean, it's quite fascinating that the only way that fear can attempt to equalize its existence and becoming superior is through being attactive, nasty, spiteful, deliberate. So it's quite interesting in how human beings are coming at us with their nastiness, their spitefulness, their blame, their deliberateness, are in fact simply revealing they're the ones with the greatest and most fear within them. And I mean, others in the uselessness, what's the use? That whole self-pitying victimization process is simply possessed by that. And I mean, already in that it's saying a lot about what that human being is accepting, allowing themselves to be. And we at Destiny are, how can we say, daring individuals, if you will, to realize that you're only going to understand what it is that we're saying if you see it for yourself, by yourself. I mean, what we're showing within interviews, within material, is a process that you yourself will see, realize, and understand for yourself when you dare to walk the process of writing, of self-forgiveness, and self-corrective application. What is fascinating about this process is, you know, it's each one's self-honesty, each one's self-responsibility. It's not about it being a, you know, a set way where you are having to repeat these mantras or having to repeat statements, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm positive, I'm positive, I'm positive, I'm light, experience bright white light, I'm light, I'm light, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, and things like that. It is a real detailed self-physical process that you walk through within yourself. We simply provide the structure. But I mean, the process that you walk, the content within yourself, within your mind, that point opens up naturally where you see how you're existing as your own mind within your physical human body. I mean, that's the Destiny I process. I mean, I dare you to assist and support yourself in participating in the Destiny I process, the blogging for sponsorship access into the Destiny I process if you don't have money, to read the material, to read the individuals that are walking their processes of writing of self-forgiveness and self-corrective application, why they're walking, writing self-forgiveness and self-corrective application, and see within that each individual is walking themselves. The only process we're showing is writing self-forgiveness in terms of the structure of how to walk it. From there, the individual walk it completely for themselves, by themselves, in establishing their own relationship with themselves, within themselves, and then human beings go, oh, we're brainwashing people. Really? How on earth is that possible if each individual is walking their own process within themselves with just the structure of self-forgiveness and writing? And within that, the Destiny I process is simply a process that guides individuals more specifically. But essentially, the individuals guide themselves. The individuals share, speak, show the points, and the buddy is simply a cross-reference in assisting and supporting buddies that have already walked an extensive process through the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind, and saying, hey, I've walked through that point. This is what I realized. Have you considered this? I mean, it is an awesome process. So, what is the process to life in terms of the context of what this individual was asking is, you know, becoming life is walking yourself out of your mind, out of energy, into physical, equal, and one living. Meaning the human physical body has been here in this physical existence for aeons of time. I mean, if you listen to the Reptilian and Atlantean series as well on Equaf, Walking the History of Existence, it has been here exceptionally long. So from within that, I mean, if we have a look at your human physical body, your human physical body does not have an intelligence as a mind. It does not have a conscious, a subconscious, and unconscious. It doesn't have personalities from the perspective of each and every single cell in your body, your organs, your muscle tissues, this physical existence in the water, the earth, the soil, nature, the weather, the universe, the galaxies. These individual manifestations don't have their own conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind energies, reactions, emotions, and feelings toward themselves and each other, judging themselves or competing with each other or waging war against each other or things like that. No. They're absolute living movement manifestations that is interacting within an absolute relationship of equality and oneness, where each have their position, their point, their purpose, and accordingly interact and move within their relationships to not only provide for themselves, but for the entire human physical body. And so that, and such relationships exist in this physical existence as well. Now we've got these scientists investigating, apparently, how the physical human body is programmed. Yet they still cannot explain the brain. Obviously, within the Destiny process, we're going to explain the brain and how it really, in fact, works. Why is it that a human being has not been able to understand the brain? Because mainly within this is because they have not yet understood the brain's relationship to the mind consciousness system. How the mind consciousness system is what has been utilizing most of the functionings of the brain, because we as beings have not, in fact, existed in equality and oneness with the physical body and used it within our own self-directive principle. So there is an existence beyond what you see with your human physical eyes. And obviously you can see that within yourself, because you're having all these thoughts inside your mind that is not physically, visually able to be seen within this physical existence, which means there is an existence beyond this physical existence, which is your entire mind. And the process that we're walking to becoming life is thus walking ourselves out of our separation from our minds, from energy, into the living example of what life is, as equality and oneness. I mean, if we are all equal and one on this earth as humanity, coexisting, co-creating, assisting and supporting, caring, considering, regarding for ourselves as we would each other, caring for each other as we would ourselves, you know, an absolute equal and one. I mean, wouldn't you say that we would in fact be living? We would be exploring what it means to, what we can do as humanity together in making this life and living on earth better for everything and everyone. I mean, that to me, in that expression, would be a visual representation of life and of living. Essentially, just reverse everything you're seeing what's here now, and give you a relative, tangible perspective. But within that is thus what we mean by equality and oneness with your human physical body. To really get to know your physical body, to really breathe, to really change your living, where it's not your mind and energy that's directing and controlling your living, your life, and who you are for you, but that whatever you're breathing and living in every single breath, whatever conversation what you're having, whatever interaction you're having, you know so absolutely who you are, why you're doing it, what sounds you're using, what words, why the words, who are you in those words, how do you live those words. So the process to life is, and does start initially, obviously, within self first. I mean, we're not going to change what's going on in this earth with human nature if we don't change that very nature within ourselves, from the mind into physical, equal and one living. So within that is the process of writing, self-forgiveness, self-corrective application. Walking self-forgiveness, walking your writing within that, and self-corrective application is where you in fact change yourself within who you are, within yourself, and your very living in this world. And it initially starts with, for example, stopping your participation in thoughts. When you would have usually reacted to another human being, you immediately stop that reaction. When you would, for example, small things, but they make massive differences, where you would have initially lived a very undisciplined life and really did nothing of any meaning or value within your day, you'll discipline yourself to see how you can contribute to your growth, development, expansion within yourself and your life. Discipline your time, utilize your time effectively. I mean, all these things is what we mean by practical corrective application, where you don't let your mind direct you, but that you decide who you are and how you're going to contribute to the life of yourself, and so eventually the life for all in equality and oneness. Alright, so this is to answer the question, and within that as well, to participate within the Destiny forums, get to know individuals, how you can assist and support yourself, assist and support others. Join the 7-year journey to life. Participate in the Destiny Eye process. The process and journey to life is here on a golden platter. You just need to get out of your fear or uselessness possession to see it. That's it. Thank you very much.